In this video, let's see how to convert the given string into a 32-bit signed integer by satisfying all the problem statements given here. Let's look into the problem statement. Implement the myAtoi function, which converts a string to a 32-bit signed integer. This is similar to C++ atoi function. And we are given with the list of conditions to be satisfied with by this myAtoi function. The first condition says read read in and ignore any leading white space. That means, for example, if the given input is like this with the leading white space and 123, we need to return 123 as a result. The second condition says check if the next character is has minus sign or plus sign. Based on that, we need to determine our output. For example, if the given input is like this, minus 123, you need to return output as minus 123. If it has plus sign, you need to return a positive 123. Okay, so the third problem statement says read in the next character until the next non-digit character and the rest of the string is ignored. So for example, if the given input is like this, uh, leading white space 1 2 3, then some alphabets, output should for this input the output should be 123, because we need to ignore all the characters if uh, if we start to see any non-digit character. So 1 2 3 are just digits. After that we see a non-digit character, so we can ignore all the characters after that. So the result should be 123. Okay, let's see the next problem statement. So the fourth statement says convert these digits into an integer. For example, if input has 0 0 32, we need to return that as a 32. If input has no digits, we need to return 0 as a output. And also we need to consider the sign in the input. If it has minus, we need to return the minus negative integer. The fifth statement says if the integer is out of 32-bit signed integer range, then we need to return the max integer value. For example, if the given input is like this, negative, starting with negative minus sign, and the all the numbers are beyond the 32-bit integer range. So for this case, we need to return integer min value as we have the minus sign. If we have the if we don't have any minus sign, and it's beyond the 32-bit integer range, we need to return the integer max value as our output. Let's see how to solve this problem. So for any problem statement, first I will try to capture the corner case or the null case. So if the input string may be null, if this is null, or if it has a length of 0, I am going to return um, length of 0. I am going to return 0 as the output. Then we need to satisfy all the problem statements one by one. For this, the idea is I'm going to loop through each and every character in the string one by one. For that, to keep track of that index, I'm going to keep a pointer. I'm going to call the pointer as left index, and I'm going to start that from the 0th index. And I'm going to keep another variable to keep the string length, and we need to store the result in a variable, integer variable. So for that, I'm going to declare another variable. I'm calling that as a result. Okay, so first statement says we need to ignore any leading white space. So for that, for example, if string dot character at left end, this is our pointer, index is it has any white space, like so here in the problem they are telling the only white space character is empty character like this. So I'm going to check If we see any character like this, we need to ignore. So I'm going to increment the pointer for this. So if you consider any negative scenario like this, if the whole input string is like a white space, um, we will get into an issue when it's going beyond the string length, when we increment the pointer. So to catch up that, I'm going to add one more condition here. So if the left index is less than the string length, so already we stored that in string length, less than the string length, and the character is a white space character, then we are going to increment the index. Okay, now we, for example, for this case, white space and 1 2 3, for this case we ignored all the white spaces. Now we need to read all the character. Let's assume this case the negative sign. So the second statement says we need to consider if there is any sign, minus or positive sign. So to keep track of that, I'm going to define another variable called sign. The sign variable will tell us the given input is a negative value or the positive value. For that, I'm going to check, we need to make sure we are not out of the string length and the given character index. If that is it can be a plus sign or a minus sign. So first I'm checking if that is a plus sign. We can have the sign value as 1 and we need to increment the pointer. Else, if the next character is minus sign, we are going to store the sign value as a minus. We are going to keep the -1 in the sign value, in the sign variable, and we are going to increment our pointer also. Okay, now we have reached the point of reading. If we take the example of this one, leading a white space -123, we have read until the minus sign. Now we need to read the remaining character 1 2 3, and we can have, for example, some alphabets also next to this. So 1 2 3. So for this, I'm going to create once again a while statement. We need to loop through until the end of the string as per the fourth statement, third and fourth statement. So we need to make sure we are not out of the boundary of the string length, and we need to check if the given character is digit or character. So we need to read until we see a non-digit character. So for that I'm going to use one of the Java's inbuilt function, character dot is digit. So if the given character is a digit, we need to move forward. So if this is a digit, now we need to read the character one by one. So the first value is 1. So this is currently it's not an integer, it's a character value. So I'm going to convert this 1 into a integer. So for that, what we can do is we can get this character value with the character and -0. So this will convert the character into a digit. So this digit currently it will have value 1. So we can store this in a result. So this is a formula to read all the to convert the given string in character array into an integer. So this will help us to read all the integer value. So first we are in this current index which has the value 1. So the current value of result is 0. So 0 and 0 multiplied by 10 is 0 plus 1. We are storing value 1 in the result. Then we are going to we need to increment the index. So once we increment the index, so we are moving to the next character value. It's 2. We are converting the character 2 into an integer value. The result currently it has value 1. 1 into 1 multiplied by 10, it's a 10. 10 plus 2, it's 12. So we are storing 12 in the result. We are incrementing our pointer. The pointer is pointing to value character 3 now. We are converting the character 3 into a digit. The result has 20, so 20 multiplied by 10 is 120. 120 plus 3, 123rd. So currently we have 123 23rd in the result, and we are incrementing the pointer. So the pointer now it's pointing to the character value g. That is not a digit, so it will come out of the while loop, and we can return the result now. So while returning the result, we need to consider the sign value. So the sign have a positive one or the negative one based on the given input. We can multiply that with the current result value, so this will give the um, actual result. So we have mostly covered all the given scenario except the fifth point. So here the problem statement says the value, if the given value is beyond the max integer range. For example, if we have value anything like this, we need to return the max min integer value. If that is a positive value, we need to return max integer value. So for that, here we need to make sure we are not going beyond the integer max value. So here I am checking the already calculated the result value is greater than the integer max value divided by 10, because still we didn't so this is the integer max value. So we need to make sure the already calculated result until this point, it's not greater than this value by ignoring the last digit. So I'm doing divided by 10. This will give the, except the last digit, it will give the remaining value. So already calculated value should be less than or equal to this value, or it can be equal to the, or it can be equal to this value. And we are now going to append add now we are going to add the last digit. So the last digit whatever we have now, that should not be greater than if, if if it is greater than the last character last digit value in the integer max value. So to get the last digit value, I am going to do the mod 10. So this will return the value 7. So if the current value is greater than 7, we are exceeding the integer 32-bit integer range. So if that the case, we are going to return. So before returning, we need to make sure the sign. If the sign is positive sign, then we are going to return the integer max value. Else, we are going to return the integer min value. We are good. Okay, so I think this will satisfy all the problem statement. Let's run this. So in the test criteria, the test cases, I have added all the possible scenarios whatever we discussed now. It's all passing. I'm submitting the problem. Yes, it's passed now. So with the, yeah, all the given 1082 test cases are passed for this. And this has the time complexity of big O of n, and the space complexity just we are declaring the pointer and the result value. So it's that's also big O of 1. So this is how we need to solve this problem. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching this video.